Welcome, everyone, to 24/7 Sports. I am Tom Loy alongside the 105 guys. We've got Director of Scouting Andrew Ivins and National Analyst Cooper Patagna. Signing day is right around the corner, so we're diving into 2025 recruiting classes and giving you a look at the soon-to-be signees. We're going to hit 4 superlatives. And first up today, we got SMU. The Mustangs have the number 25 recruiting class in 2025, and there are 23 commits set to play for head coach Rhett Lashley. Andrew, we'll start with you. Early draft pick potential, somebody with elite traits now who might find themselves called early in the NFL draft in a couple of years.
Tom, it's the top-ranked commit for SMU, offensive tackle Draymond Odoms, number 83 player nationally for us right now. We'll see him hopefully in San Antonio at Navy's All-American Bowl. Can't wait to get around this kid. Not a ton of verified information, man, but when you put on the tape, you see the potential. Athletic corner protector, the size is there. Going to need to pump him with some muscle milk, right? He's going to need to improve that play strength, but he actually reminds me a little bit of SMU's starting current left tackle, Savion Byrd, at the same stage. Garen Justice, the offensive line coach there, I think he does an excellent job. To me, Draymond Odoms, he has all the ingredients to bake into a potential NFL draft pick up front on the offensive line.
Love that pick, Drew. That's why I went with Draymond Odoms as well. And you think about the size, 6'4", 3/4, 275 pounds. And I think Drew hit it right on the head. This is going to have to be a guy that's going to develop for SMU, but a top 100 prospect. And you got to be really, really excited about that. I think the biggest thing with him, he can play on the left side. He can play on the right side. And I like his future to come in and be able to kind of impact the game in maybe the first 2 years. But the athlete, we really like. Although raw, you see the agility, you see the easy moving ability. And once he gets his hands on you, he's really, really good. So there is a lot there to work with. I would say the biggest thing about him, we haven't seen him a lot, right? So seeing him in San Antonio at the Navy All-American Bowl, going to be a huge exposure for Draymond Odoms. We're looking forward to seeing him there in a couple of weeks.
Goofy, as he's referred, is the guy I went with as well, Draymond Odoms. Big-time talent. It's a clean sweep. Big, strong, incredible finisher. Big fan. Cooper, we'll go to you for day one impact. Who do you got for a guy who's going to play early and often in year one?
Well, Drew and I talk about it all the time. If you're from IMG Academy there in Bradenton, Florida, then you're going to be ready to play for college football. And that would have been the case whether or not Ty Hawkins finished his career there in Texas or whether or not it was at IMG Academy. But this is a guy that I think was born to play in a Rhett Lashley offense. We talk about the quarterback coach being De'Ara King there. Takes care of the football, maximizes his opportunities down the field. When you talk about quarterbacks with command and poise, that is Ty Hawkins. I think you can have a conversation as how high the ceiling is, but in terms of a really, really good college football player on Saturdays, that's what Ty Hawkins is. I love the fit here in Dallas. I think we're going to see a kind of like Damon Williams type of role, the quarterback that we see up there in Washington and Seattle with Jed Fish. They're going to have to find a way to get him involved early. I think you'll see some packages for Ty Hawkins, but I like the vision of him having an impact there early in Dallas.
I'm going to go with running back Drameco Green. Tom, I think his nickname is Chunky. This is a kid, a Big 12 staffer actually kind of reached out to me when I was putting together the freaks list. And they're like, hey, you got to get Chunky on there. I had no idea who he was talking about at the time. I have since learned this kid is averaging 9.2 yards per carry, 20 touchdowns in just 10 games as a senior. I think he's a potential workhorse. And you think about SMU, right, what they're doing on the field in 2024. Brashard Smith has kind of been the X factor for them on the offensive side of the ball. Well, he's going to be gone. He graduates. Jalen Knighton's also out. LJ Johnson returns. And I'm sure SMU is going to be very attractive to veterans in the transfer portal. But I think Drameco Green can step in right away and contribute in the ACC for the Mustangs. Elite lateral quickness. I love his low to the ground run style. No shortage of power. I mean, there's workout videos of this guy going through the cones. I think he is someone you need to know as a true freshman there when we talk about 2025.
I went with receiver Jalen Cooper. I could see the 6'1", 170-pounder arriving at SMU, ready to roll right away. I saw him multiple times in the 7-on-7 circuit. Was always impressed. Great hands, technically sound. He's a big play waiting to happen. Ivins, come back to you for boom or bust, an intriguing talent, somebody who might outperform or underachieve his current ranking. Who do you got?
I'm going to go with the quarterback here, Ty Hawkins. And this is more so, I think he could boom and outplay where we ultimately have him finishing in the rankings. Number 18 quarterback for us right now. this is a guy that I like a lot. And talking with the staff there at IMG Academy, head coach Billy Miller, he said it in the preseason, hey, Ty's got the juice. And that kind of phrase has stuck with me as we've watched his senior season play out. I mean, we're talking about a kid that has gone 47 feet, 4 inches in the triple jump. That's one of the best marks we've ever seen for a quarterback prospect. As a senior at IMG, he has really, really protected the football. And that's a big thing because the final game of his junior season, he threw 6 interceptions in one half of football. Was a bit of a disaster. I bring it up to him all the time, but he has changed it. I think he's playing better inside the pocket. And to me, Cooper mentioned De'Aaron King, the quarterback coach there. That's kind of my player comp for Ty Hawkins. He's an electric, dynamic runner. As a senior at IMG Academy, he's ran for 300 yards, 5 touchdowns. This is a guy that's gone over 2,000 career yards on the ground. So I think he's someone that's going to provide a ton of fireworks on Saturdays. What does that mean when it comes to Sundays? I'm not sure. Again, right there at 6 feet on the dot, but there's a lot to like, and he does fit what SMU wants to do on offense.
I'm going to go on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to go with Edge Chinedo Onyegoro. Hopefully I said that right. And this guy is a pretty interesting prospect when you kind of dive into him. Originally from Nigeria, only playing football for a couple of years. Lacks the, I would say, ideal length at the edge spot, 6'2.5", 220 pounds plus. But that being said, 35-inch arms. He's got a 6'8" wingspan. So there is a lot of room to grow. And then I think as a junior, although the production was there, we kind of put this guy in the raw developmental upside category. As a senior, wow, he has taken steps in a variety of ways. And the biggest one really kind of being the play speed, the proactive pass rush, the initial quickness, the suddenness, the ability to go speed to power off the edge. I think the other thing that kind of highlights the athleticism is his ability to play as a second-level defender too. So he's a multi-dimensional athlete, a guy that can do a lot of different things. And another guy Andrew and I have kind of talked about, you look up and you say, how can this guy get out of the state of California, whether that's UCLA, USC, or somebody else in that footprint? SMU doing a really, really good job out west. And I think this is a dude that long-term could be a really big impact player for him.
Ivans, I'm joining you on Ty Hawkins, the quarterback commit. This is one where I wish I could kind of fast forward it and see how his career played out. I'm just super intrigued. I don't know if I know he's going to be a future draft pick. At least I see him as one, but first or third or maybe fifth or seventh, I just can't peg him to figure out where he's going to be, but throws it super well, very athletic. I know SMU landed a really good player in Ty Hawkins. Cooper, going back to you for Diamond in the Rough. We'll wrap it up. A 3-star prospect who could potentially hear his name drafted one day. Who do you got?
I'm going to cheat here a little bit. I'm going to go with a 4-star on the outside of the top 247, but I'm going to go with Dalen Singleton from DeSoto. And you think about SMU, I talked to an ACC team earlier this year, one that was undefeated at the point when they played SMU, and they said that SMU was the fastest and most athletic team that they had played all season. And you think about that. I mean, this was a group of 5 team a year ago. So how does SMU continue to build on that? Guys like Dalen Singleton from DeSoto, and this guy can absolutely roll. Really good time in the 200-meter, also ran in the low 4.5s. I think he plays faster than that. I love his value in the return game, but he is a build speed, vertical type of guy, over 1,000 yards as a junior with 55 receptions. He's a home run hitter. So SMU, they have a certain type of what they want at the receiver position. Tom, you mentioned Jalen Cooper gives them something a little bit different, more of a bouncier guy, wide catch radius. Dalen Singleton, in terms of the vertical playmaking, I think that's a guy you got to look out for.
Coop, I love that one. And I want to know if they maybe try to get him involved in the backfield. Remember, Brashard Smith, primarily a wide receiver in high school, was a wide receiver at Miami. They move him over to running back. Really, really like that one. I'm going to go with the real diamond in the rough of this class, all the way out in the volcanoes of Hawaii. Abel Hoppe, offensive lineman. This guy's 6'3.5", 351 pounds, but he's gone just over 5 seconds in the short shuttle. One of my favorite watches of the entire Under Armour camp circuit. This is a mountain of a human. He's strong, built like an ox. I think it's going to take some time maybe to get the body right, but I could see him emerging as a starter for SMU, potentially a multi-year starter at one of those guard spots.
I went with defensive back Tyron Polley Jr. He can play all over the secondary. He's likely a safety at the next level, but I'm told he could play nickel as well. He's a playmaker. I like the tape. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's instinctive, great ball skills. I know SMU is very, very excited about this kid. But that wraps it up. As I said before, we will continue hitting a bunch of schools leading up to December's early signing period. For Andrew Ivins and Cooper Patagna, I'm Tom Loy. As always, stay locked to 247sports.com.